Hello friends, the transfer window is nearly closed, and that means that teams only have a limited amount of time to get their deals over the line. Today we're going to be having a look at 5 different transfers that could happen on deadline day. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You really do not want to miss what's coming up in the near future. But now, let's talk about 5 possible deadline day transfers. Okay, up first we have Felipe, who could be making a possible move over to Nottingham Forest. Felipe is a Brazilian centre-back who currently plays for Atletico Madrid. He's very experienced, he's 33 years old, and he's had a lot of time under Diego Simeone, learning the way he plays and getting his fire and aggression out of it. He's quite hot-headed, but also I think he would bring a good, experienced head to that Nottingham Forest side and really bring a steel to really help them really tighten up at the back. I think this is a good signing, depending on the transfer fee, which hasn't actually been discussed yet. It's still being worked on, it's still being talked about, so we're not too sure on that just yet. But if it could be for a good price, I think Nottingham Forest have got themselves quite a good deal here. Up next, we have Tottenham Hotspur's pursuit of Pedro. He is looking to get a move away. He was hoping he'd be getting his move to Spurs, and it seemed like over the weekend everything had been sorted out and everything had been organised. It seemed like both clubs had come to a deal. Both Sporting Club de Portugal and Tottenham had come to a figure, an agreement, and he was about to make the move. However, in the recent moments, Sporting Club de Portugal have actually made a change to the negotiations. They've reopened the negotiations and they've decided it's not good enough for them, which has really thrown this entire transfer into a standstill. Tottenham are still willing to get the deal done and they're still pushing very, very hard to make sure it happens, but this is a very, very big problem in this deal. It's not dead in the water just yet. It hasn't finished quite yet. However, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So this is possibly a later one in the transfer window, especially coming closer to deadline day. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes. Watch this space, Tottenham fans. I don't think it's done just yet, but it's looking difficult. It's looking difficult. So let's keep an eye on this space for Pedro to Tottenham Hotspur. Let's now turn our attention to another part of London where Chelsea are looking and still pursuing Enzo Fernandez. This saga has been going on for quite some time now, and Todd Boehly seems to not want to give up on his man. Chelsea have been pursuing Enzo Fernandez really ever since the World Cup had finished, and it looks like they're getting ever closer. Benfica have claimed that they do not want to sell the player in January, and they definitely do not want to sell the player if they do not get their €120 million release clause met. They are adamant that that is the only way that they can even enter the negotiations, and it seems like Chelsea are willing to play ball now. It seems like Chelsea are willing to accept that 100 million or 120 million euro fee. However, they want to play it in installments, so now it's all about negotiating and formulating a pay structure that would allow Chelsea to make this deal. 120 million euros is a lot of money. I want you to tell me whether you think Enzo Fernandez is worth it, and what is your take on Chelsea's current spending. 120 million euros, and on top of what they have already spent, is a huge amount of money, but it's something that they are paying for in a quality player. He's got a high ceiling, and he's got massive potential. So let me know your thoughts on this possible deal. And now to another part of London. It's all happening in London this transfer window, isn't it? We have Caicedo's possible move to Arsenal. Arsenal have bid £65 million plus 5 million add-ons. That brings the total to £70 million. That was immediately rejected by Brighton, and Brighton expect him to be back into training in the next few days. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes. Arsenal are very keen on the player, and they obviously want him through the door, else they wouldn't be offering that much money. But how much more could Arsenal possibly offer, especially considering that they might be looking at options in the summer? Declan Rice is another player that was touted. Is he going to be a better option than Moises Caicedo? It's going to be very interesting to see where Arsenal go with this. Another thing that might force Arsenal's hand, remember, is the potential injury to Thomas Partey. We saw him limp off in the game against Manchester City only recently. So will that injury, depending on the extent of it, cause Arsenal and really force their hand to try and get this deal over the line? I don't think this is done quite yet. I imagine Arsenal will want to go back in one more time to see if they can convince Brighton. Caicedo definitely wants the move and is seemingly trying to force his way out. I don't think he'll put in a transfer request, but I think he's doing everything he possibly can to really show his intentions of wanting to leave. This one hasn't ended just yet, so it's worth keeping an eye on. That's Moises Caicedo to Arsenal. Last but certainly not least, we have Joao Cancelo's possible move to Bayern Munich. This is a loan deal with an option to buy of £61.5 million. Everything seems to be agreed, and it seems to just be a matter of time as to when the contracts will be signed. This is an absolute shock. It's come completely out of the blue. See what I did there? Sorry. But it's actually shocking to see how this has unfolded. Could Pep Guardiola not have convinced Joao Cancelo to stay at Man City at least until the end of the season? Why is he leaving now? Is he really that unhappy? Game time is always going to be an issue when you have a squad of that size, so it strikes me as a little bit odd why he'd want to leave in January. What is he looking to gain, especially when Man City are competing on so many fronts? They have the option of winning the Champions League, so something, I think, has gone wrong somewhere. Pep Guardiola had an interview where he talked about certain people and certain players having a bad attitude towards certain performances, and he wasn't happy with his squad in certain occasions. We know that Joao Cancelo has not exactly been amazing this season. However, I don't think that necessarily warrants him booting or being booted out of the door. He's one of Man City's most technically gifted players, and that strikes me as a little bit odd that Man City were willing to do business so quickly, especially with such little time. Kyle Walker is fairly injury prone, and Man City as a club defensively have been struggling with injuries for quite some time now. Sergio Gomez seems to be struggling to adapt to the pace of the Premier League and the way that Man City play, so it's very surprising to me that they're allowing another player to go out without bringing someone in. Perhaps they will bring someone in on deadline day, it just hasn't been particularly reported yet, but Joao Cancelo seems to be on his way to Bayern Munich. What a shocking turn of events. That's it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well so that you never ever miss an upload. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on the most recent transfers and what could happen on deadline day. How has your club been doing, and are you expecting them to be doing any late business? Let me know your thoughts. But like I said, that's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.